decisions and who is supposed to follow into the organization. That's called superior and subordinate relationship. This can be done by the tools of organization structure like departmentation and decentralization. Centralization or decentralization will be done through the organization structuring. Actually, the organization structure try to shape the organization, or it is a blueprint of the organization. So actually, the organization structure depends upon to the span of management. Span of management that indicate how many number of subordinates can be kept under one superior. That is called the span of management. It means one superior, how many subordinates can, one superior, how many number of subordinates can be managed. Mean how many number of subordinates can keep under one superior, and what is the capacity of that particular superior to be understood based on that span to be decided. When that there are the two types of spans we are having. That is in where a number of subordinates are more. That is in one type of span, that is called the wide span. And where we are having less number of subordinates under one superior, then it is called the narrow span. If subordinates who report to a superior are more in a number, it is called wider span. If it's in vice versa for the narrow span, and a less number of subordinates will be there under the one superior, it is the narrow span. Whether it is a wider span or narrow span, that depends upon to the organizational capabilities, and it is also depends upon to the capacity of the higher level, capacity of the higher level, and the type of the subordinates also, if they are educated, disciplined, I mean technical, non-technical. So that depends upon the type of the subordinate and the what is the level of control they're having, what are the authority they're having, and the responsibility of the superior and subordinate. Like so, there are different factors will be combined, and it make the organization to determine the type of span. Based on that, organization structures are made. You can see the diagram here. We have the narrow span and a wider span. If you see the narrow span here, we have in one superior, subordinates are only 4. When you see here, one superior is having more number of subordinates. Again, here the more number of one subordinate is having, one superior is having more number of subordinates. But here we see that slowly, no, they say only 4 people. Here we are having 8 people. For again, it is in out of the 8, the one is having another 8 subordinate. That is called the flat structure is going to be presenting. It is called the wider span. So we have the both advantages and limitations for the narrow span and as well as the wider span. If in the narrow span, it is quite easy for controlling the people. It is quite easy for managing the things, and we can have a great monitor is possible into the narrow span. But in the wider span, delegation to be done, authority to be delegated, works will be executed in the different fashion. So I mean, more number will be there, control will be very less. That we are having the wider span, but that depends upon the type of the organization. We can select either a narrow span or the wider span. So we have certain advantages and disadvantages. And now we are going to talk regarding to the type of the organization structure. The type of the organization structure can be classified into the 4 types we are having, 4 type of forms we are having. Now here we can see first type is a functional structure. The name itself indicate you functional. So already I told you in the while we are talking regarding the organizing process, the similar activities are identified and grouped. But that is called in this grouping, the functionality will be placed. Here you can see the picture. In this picture, it is stating CEO, marketing manager, sales manager, service manager. Again, marketing manager is having people, sales and service managers are having the people under them. It means the smaller groups will be there. Narrow span will be presented under the functional structure. The functional structure is based on the organizations being divided up to the smaller groups with the specific tasks and role. So, for example, the companies have could have a group working in information technology and in another in marketing, and another in finance. So each department manager or a director who is answer to the executive level, who will answers to the executive level up into the hierarchy, who can who maybe oversee the multiple departments. So you can take CEO here, you can take the multiple department, and we are having the marketing and a director, a CEO is maybe the director. Under them we are having the marketing manager. Under them we are having the different executives. All these executives report to the manager. Manager report to the director. So it is possible. It is controlling is possible under the functional structure. So you can take the examples like another advantage under the this particular structure is employees are grouped by skill set and functions. No, they are all similar activities they do and similar knowledge level they're having, so that they're able to share each other, and they can have a possibility to have and work in the collective way, and innovation and is possible in this particular time. So then they focus on their collective engineering and execute their roles into the department. So the different, usually majority of the companies are following the functional structures. Now it is another element, another type is a divisional or a multi-divisional structure. When you come to the divisional or multi-divisional structure, here the companies operate across the several horizontal objectives. I mean, they're having sometimes use the divisional organization structures. I mean, where across the several nations, horizontally the several nations, with they're operating with the different type of customer groups, then they used to divisional structures. This structure allow for much more autonomy and among the group within the organization. I mean, I think we can take the example of the railways. Indian Railways, we are having South that called South Central Railway, Eastern Railway, Western Railway, and as like that, we are having the different sort of railway divisions we are having. Every division is having their own autonomy, and they make the things according to the requirement of the organizations. Here we take an example of the General Electronic Company. GE is having the different divisions like aviation, transportation, digital, current, I mean to say the power and renewable energy, and among the other things. There are the different other divisions they're having. So all the divisions, they have the people, and which is managed by one CEO and a director, and all these divisions will report directly to the CEO. This is called the divisional or multi-divisional structure. Additionally, with this structure, divisions could also be created geographically, and based upon the North America, South America, Europe, East Asia, Asia, European. As like that, we are able to Saudi Arabia, Arabian countries, and as like that. And in India, we can say South India, North India, East and Western India. So we are able to divide the geographically also in divisional structures. And these type of the structures are for generate the flexibility to larger companies with many divisions, allowing each one to operate in their own company. It is separate own company at one division. So finally, what we can say, this is suitable to the organization which is having the larger number of larger organizations and larger number of customers and huge geographical area they are offering. Multinational level companies used to go for the divisional or the multi-divisional. You can take Hindustan Coca-Cola. In India, Coca-Cola beverages, it is separate. That called in India, one we are having the different sort of branches. No, in India we're having, you can take any company, any multinational company, majorly they are taking into the divisional and multi-divisional structure. And we are having the flatter structure. Actually, it is a combination of a flat structure and it is in combination of the two structures. It is a hybrid structure. Actually, it is it's blending of the functional structure and flat structures result to the flateral organizational structure. Flat structure, already I told you, we have in the widest span, it is here, that is called the flat structure with the functional structure. So this is what it allows the more decision making at the different levels into the organization, and the organization which is having internal incubators and innovation programs, then that sort of companies can be used at the flatter structure. I mean, why? What is the mean of the flatter structure? Is it is a hybrid structure, combination of two flatter organization structure and a functional structure combinedly make the flatter structure. So here in this system, the company can operate in an existing structure, but employees at any level are encouraged to suggest ideas, run with them, potentially creating the new flat teams. Mean we have an we give we delegate the authority to the bottom line people to reconstruct the processes. So, for example, you can take Google, Adobe, LinkedIn, and many other companies have an internal incubator where employees are encouraged to create and innovate in order to promote the company's overall growth. So, this is happening in the in majority of the companies. I mean, it is a line and staff structure. No, an advisory people will perform, an advisory body will be there, and they will support to the functional structure. They're called functionally. There are line people and staff people. Staff people are expertised professionals in that particular thing. They will support to the line people, and finally, the organization will get a lot of innovations in performing the tasks. That is called the flatter structure, and we have a matrix structure. So we need to understand the another. This is also another type of the hybrid structure. Actually, it is a blend of functional organization structure and a project structure. And I mean, project organization and functional organizations are attached here. You can see here in this diagram. So we have the marketing department, sales department, and service department. We are having the different divisions or different products. Electricity division, home goods division, and other services divisions we are having as like that. I mean, product A, product B, product C as like that we can see here, and the different departments are having. So every department is connected with the another project. No, majority of the real estate companies will do. Marketing department will be there, sales department will be there, service department will be there. But the project which they are handling, it is in one-to-one. It will be one-to-one. It will be connected with the department. Project A is connected to the marketing, sales, and services. There will be people who will take up the project A. And so there will be the people for project B, there will be people for the project C, but entire marketing department will be run by the one functional department. That is called the matrix structure. So we have the different types of organizational designs we are having. The organizational designs can be divided into the four. One is line organization, line and staff organization structure, matrix organization structure, and committee organization structure. Line structure is where there are the two type of people: line people, staff people. Line people are responsible for the work, who will execute the things into the organization. They're called line people. Staff people are those people who are expertised in the subject. They don't execute the things. They will guide the line people in performing of the tasks. That's called the line and staff structures. Staff structure, and line and staff structure is combination of the line people and as well as the staff people. Then it is called the line and staff structure is there. So actually, if you see this line structure, the concept holds the organization hierarchy divided into the scholar process. There must be a single head who commands the entire organization with authority. You can see this example here. We have a line structure is here. CEO, manager production, manager marketing. He is a single head who will control the entire organization. That's called the line structure. And we are having the line and staff structure. In line and staff structure, we have a CEO, we have the different managers are there, and for every department we are having general manager personnel, manager personnel. So under HR department, we have the different sort of people who are support our personal assistants to the worker, personal officers, manager personnel, general manager. So we say general manager. Similarly, no, I can tell you that called this is what the line authority, and these are all dotted lines. We can say that called the staff authority. So people will combinationally they'll use expertise. People will support general manager. General manager manufacturing will get a support from the staff responsibility of the general manager personnel.